G'day everyone and welcome to today's video where we're going to build an AFK base and then run a full horde against it to see how it holds up. The base has three main goals. First, it's got to be fully AFK for the whole horde night. Second, I want good stability so that we don't have to worry too much about things falling down. And lastly, it's got to be built around zombies looping with only incidental damage to the blocks. Not sure how we're going to go, but that's the plan. While we get started with the build, the reason we are focusing on block damage and stability is that from my last AFK base, and I'll put a link in the description if you haven't seen it, it suffered from two main failings. One is that the horde is tightly bunched up and constantly attacking the blocks that cause the zombies to be stuck in the first place, which means when they destroy enough blocks, the base fails. The second is that a bunch of people who tried the base in their games had issues with stability, particularly when upgrading from wood. So we're going to see what we can do to improve on that in today's build. Okay, here we have our 10x10 square of concrete, which forms the outline of the base tower that will be at the center of the build. You can go smaller if you want, which will save you some material and effort, but a 6x6 is probably the absolute minimum. Next, we need to measure out 6 blocks from the wall all around the outside and mark it out so that we can see where we need to dig. Once that's done, it'll look a bit like this. Now that that's done, it's time to start digging. Now I hate digging in bases and avoid it wherever I can, but for this base, while you could build it all above ground, it needs a heck of a lot more blocks, and I didn't want to go too heavy on the mats. It's already a bit of a beast to build. So for this one, even though we've got the Super Digger Dev tool, I'm probably going to switch and use the block replacement tool as well, just because it's a bit faster. To do that, we need to come over where we want to start our selection and dig down so that we can select down at the base of where we're going to end up removing all the blocks. Go down 5, drop down and hit Z, and then jump out. I've got parkour on this one, which is why I'm able to jump out so high. Then run out over here and just to the right of the concrete so that we don't replace those as well. We hit Z again and that selects our large rectangle. Pulling out the dev tool, let's make sure we're doing all blocks and replacing with air, and then we can dig out our section. Easy. You can see here that the selection does go, I thought it went a little bit further, but I think that's as deep as it goes. We just need to check. No, definitely not going to replace that. How deep is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually wanted it at 5 deep because I want 4 deep if you line the bottom with concrete. So let's just move the selection down one. To do that, hold down the G key and then slide the selection down using the arrows. That gives us our 5 deep trench and we're good to go. Repeat the process on the other sides and we should have a trench that runs all the way around. Now that's done, it's time to line the bottom of the trench with concrete, so that any damage the zombies might do is contained and they don't end up undermining the base. If you're feeling adventurous, you can reduce the materials required here by using the 3x3x1 block instead of individual blocks, as that will cover the space of 9 blocks from a single block of materials. However, that also means that the 9 blocks it would cover only have the hit points of one single block, so it's a lot weaker in actuality, and if it is broken, it's a big hole in the trench floor. So it comes down to how lucky you're feeling. And I'll do you all a favour by not attempting a Dirty Harry impression. Once the floor of the trench is complete, you should have something that looks roughly like this. Then it's time to dig out the dirt walls and replace them with blocks. It should look something like this when it's done, and I've used wood frames here for 3 of the walls so that we can modify them as we go. I've also done the inside walls underneath our pillar. With that done, let's get started building the rest, where we put the zombies into the trench and let them back out again, starting with some block stairs to get them up and out of the trench. I want to try the block stairs first, as block jump stairs slow the zombies down, which I'm hoping results in less damage, since the zombies spend less time at the front of the base and more time coming out of the trench. Now that we can get up and out of the trench, I think we also need a way to get back in, so let's pop around here as well. And we'll build a little path across to the base, which will allow us to build the rest of the base from the inside and the outside a whole lot more easily. Alright, now it's time to start building the staircase up for the zombies into the main base. So let's measure 10 in from this side, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 10 in from the other side. Of course I can't talk and count at the same time. This will then give us our nice little central location and we'll maybe hollow this out for some stairs back up, and then we can build the same pillars and staircase base on either side. So we're going to use the pole centered for our staircase. That puts them even spacings and starts off on a step that's easily accessible. Start with these 4, and then we'll start to build it across to our central base. This is where we will slowly arch it from the outside in, give it as close to a nice curve as we can, and at the same time hopefully not encounter the stability issues that we had on the previous base. Adding a level up so that the zombies have to jump up. As they jump, obviously the poles aren't the easiest things for them to land on, and they're likely to fall off at every single jump and fall down into a trench, then run back up the stairs and start again. Of course, this is where it gets tricky for me to add them. But we add the next layer up. Notice that we're always giving at least a couple of overlaps as well, so that if the zombies do start hitting some of these pillars, the breaking one shouldn't result in either collapse in the worst case, or even just a lack of a path forward. We don't want them to lose their path, otherwise they are not going to want to continue up that staircase. Just trying to work out the easiest way to place the next box from the inside is the way to go. Here we are, and then we're going to need to get up on top, so we might need to switch and put in some blocks here, which we can convert to a proper wall later. So let's start getting up here, and then we can put blocks on top. Here we are, and again start bringing it across. Oop, and we are starting to have stability issues right on the very last block. So at least we know we're pretty much on the money, and that any upgrades, as long as it's connected to the wall, shouldn't be a problem. Now that's actually the center there, and the one to the left is the outside. So if we end up bringing this across as well, we need to just remove this one, and then we can make ourselves look really stupid by collapsing the base. What I was trying to do was move it across one, so that the pillars from the left hand side as we face it now come into a single block on the middle, the left hand side of the middle on the inside base, and then on the right hand side they also come into a single point. So there's 2 central pillars, one from the left and one from the right. But the wall wasn't high enough on the inside, which is why we got that collapse, and I removed the wrong pillar effectively. So now we need to just sneak out here and put one in the right spot. We'll jump on the rubble of the fallen bit. We might have to put something on the wall so that we can see what we're doing. Alright, let's pop this in there and across, and that's our single point of entry for that side. Assuming that the zombies ever make it that far, that's how they can get into the base. Adding in some of the pillars below again, so that there's, hopefully if they are going to whack anything, that they don't whack anything too important. And clean up our mess. That looks about right. We might need to do some tweaking later on the heights, but that's one side done. So let's get started on the second side. Alright, now we've finished the second side, and here's how base is looking so far. Not too bad. From here we need to jump down and finish off our staircases. So let's start over here on the right. Follow these out, and we'll place some more blocks up. Again, we want these block staircases so that the zombies slow down as they're trying to leave the trench, which means that they should be done with their rage mode from the fall before they get back to the pillars, which should hopefully protect the pillars from receiving too much damage. There we go. That's the staircase on that side. Let's just finish off the wall. Dig this out and fill it with concrete. That's the left stair, or the right stair, depending on which way we're facing. Complete. Let's do a similar process now on the middle and the other side. Alright, all the stairs are now done, and we've also added a bit of extra wall and a roof to our inside base, so that we can get over here and do some testing. First of all though, I want to turn these pillars into at least wooden pillars, instead of just the wood frames. Otherwise, as soon as a zombie gives them a bit of a whack, they are going to break and all of the pathing will be destroyed. So we won't really know whether or not the base works or not. So let's grab a centered wood pole, pop him down there, and with the block replacement tool, give him a tap, set the selection and replace all blocks. There we are. Our pillars are now wood pillars. Lovely. Let's head back inside, which we can't quite make. Didn't plan that out very well. Let's whack an extra frame up there. There we go. And let's pull in a couple of zombies and test the pathing. Ferals to make it nice and quick. And sure enough, they go up on the pillars and back down again. Looks nice. Back up the stairs. Oh. Why aren't they going up the stairs? Go on, get. Obviously they're going to break pretty quick, because they're just wood frames. There they go. Oh, another whack. That's not what I expected. Alright, so what I think is happening is the zombies are getting stuck on our nice and slow stairs. So what we might do as a quick test, let's put in some ramps just up one side and see if that speeds, well, it'll obviously speed the zombies return back up again, but let's see if that extra speed stops them from hitting the base so hard, or at least so much. Throw in a couple of zombies again and see if this time they should run straight back up. They should take the ramps because they're quicker, and then fall down, and then hopefully straight back up the ramps without stopping to hit. And I forgot an extra ramp on the bottom on that side, which is why he's now, she, I guess, is now hitting that. The one on the other side, oh, there we go. I've realised that's the fast way up. So far, so good. Straight up the ramp, off you go. Much better. Alright, I think this is the winner. So much for slowing the zombies down, but I think we're going to have to get rid of the stairs and replace them all with ramps. Alright, just putting the finishing touches on the left-hand ramp here. Just removing the old blocks, grabbing the ramp, spin it around, put it in place, and then get a nice corner piece. Put that in, and that one is done. So we've got our ramps in place now, at least for the left and middle. The goal, of course, is going back to our original 3 principles. One of them was to have a good loot base, but with only incidental damage to the blocks, and you could see from those last 2 tests that the zombies were certainly having a good hit at the stairways that were slowing them down. So I'm hoping that with the new speedy ramps, that the zombies will just run straight back up each time and not pause to hit and try and destroy the main structure that we've got, which is those ramps back up from the trench and the pillars that they have to try and jump up. Those 2 things are key. If they attack a bit of the floor or a bit of the wall towards the base that we're standing on, that's okay. but we don't want them destroying the part that makes this an AFK base. And so far, so good. Straight back down, straight back up, without pausing to hit anything. So that's looking pretty good. Alright, time for the final completion push, ready for a Horde Night run. Need to add in our roof. We need to add in some stairs. We need to replace some blocks with concrete. We need to add some hatches to block the entryway. We need to finish converting these stairs to ramps. And then we need to change everything over to concrete. Now that the base is complete, here's some gratuitous panning shots for your viewing pleasure. Okay, time to get into the fun stuff. We've got a Horde Night coming. Added a few lanterns so that we can see what we're doing, but apart from that, it's all the same. And we're coming in from the east on the left. So the left, that left set of pylons or pillars, is going to get a workout. So far so good. Zombies coming in, jumping up, and generally falling down on that first couple of sets of poles. Doesn't look like they're doing any rampaging, destroy area mode. I'm sure there's a couple in there that are, but difficult to see. Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. A couple running over to have a whack on the base. But pretty much everybody just drops and runs straight back up again once they've got to their feet. Few standing on each other's shoulders. That's one of the reasons why I set the depth to 4 blocks deep. Looks like, in hindsight, I maybe could have even gone deeper, gone 5 or 6 blocks, to stop them when they're standing on each other's shoulders from being able to hit the poles. That's what I'm most worried about, is them destroying those poles and destroying the pathing. The other option I did consider was setting the depth down to 11 blocks or 12 blocks, which we know... Oi! Where are you off to? Down to 11 or 12 blocks, because we know that that will start to do some fall damage. But there's not a lot of point in turning this into a base that tries to kill zombies through fall damage. 1, because it's so low. 2, because it won't kill rads. And 3, because you don't get any XP for it. So we might as well just let them loop until the end of Horde Night. As you can see, I've been poking around whilst yammering on. And there's a bit of damage on their poles, but nothing too significant so far. So that's pretty good. That's what we want to see. Alright, let's do a quick check-in on the damage. Corner blocks taking a bit of a hit. It might be the one that they like to whack on as they walk past. It's got a bit of damage there too. Ooh, that could be a problem. That one is down to 1,000. And it certainly seems to get hit a lot. What I can't tell is whether that's getting hit, both of them, whether they're getting hit as the zombies run and jump past it, or whether they're getting hit from down below from zombies standing on each other's shoulders. Definitely could be the deeper trench that we needed, because this one is going to go at some point soon. Or maybe not. Let's keep an eye on it. Well, here we go, down to 12 health. And that block should break any second now. There we go. As you can see, that didn't actually change the pathing because they still have 2 blocks they can jump up to. I think that one would need to go, and then there'll be the one more corner block before the jump becomes 2 blocks high and they can't or aren't happy about doing it. On the plus side, if that does happen, then all of these left hand side zombies will redirect over to the right hand side and we'll start the process over again. You can see there's a few over there at the moment, but not too many. Looks like this one's still... Whoa, that was a huge hit of damage. I was about to say it's got a fair bit of health left and it's going down slowly, but someone just took 200 health off the block with one hit, so hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Well, that might have been wishful thinking on my part, because we're already down to 230. Whoa, I can't keep up, it's going down too fast. And there we go. That block is now gone. And we have 1 block left on this left hand side. While that bloke is there and looks like undamaged at this point, then we're okay. But once, if and when that block goes, then the pathing for the left hand side will be broken. Okay, coming up on halfway through Horde Night. Let's have a quick squeeze around again, I think. Everything looking mostly okay still with the pathing and the zombies. A few blocks damaged here and there. Obviously we've had those couple of poles go, but for the most part it seems to be holding up alright since then. Checking our game stage, just for those that were wondering, it is 442. I'm running level 300 on day 70. I'm pretty happy with how things are holding up so far. So the red moon is setting and Horde Night is almost over. One thing that I probably should have thought about before now is how to kill all the zombies. So what I'm going to do is grab a few Molotovs, because if there's one thing that AFK, well, there's 2 things AFK bases are good for. One is AFKing the Horde Night, and 2 is clumping up zombies. So since they're going to be nice and clumped up at the end of the Horde Night, we're going to take advantage of that and set them all on fire. Just need a few more minutes. Looks like everything, although I just heard a block get destroyed. I was about to say everything's held up fairly nicely. Hopefully that wasn't an important block. We also seem to have a loot bag over there, and I have no idea how that would have possibly appeared, because I haven't killed any zombies. I might have to rewatch the tape later and see what happened. Anyway, there we go. Horde Night's over. Let's come on out. Put those down so we don't make a meal of it, which we did anyway. Let's see if we can get it over them. There we are. Phew. Nope. Same problem on the other side. Start to see some XP ticking up hopefully once they start dying. Alright, down to the last few zombies. Let's chuck one more Molotov down, and then we'll set ourselves on fire. And I have no water, so we might just let that one run itself out, and then shoot them. Alright, that's the last zombie dead. So, let's put these up, just cause, and head back down, check out how much damage we've had. Ooh, nice landing. So we've got a random block out in the floor. Got 2 blocks in the wall. Well, that's kind of expected that they're going to try and get in there. This I'm a little bit surprised about. That's a lot of damage. Kind of, I guess that's their destroy area coming in, where they just want to smash anything they can get their hands on. So not too much on those. I thought those first row of pillars would cop more damage, but they haven't. That's why there's 5 of them. I was expecting that they would need some redundancy there, but they've all stood up. How about there's the magic one. That still had 4,700 or so. So overall, it's those top 2 pillars there. That's the weak spot for some reason. I might have to do some more testing as to why that is. But overall, that's hung up really well. We've got the redundant side over here on the right, and you could always double this up on the far side if you wanted even more redundancy. So there's basically 4 paths of AFK base to hold up for more intense Horde nights. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this is an AFK base design that hangs around for a while. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like, and if you're interested in seeing more designs like it, please subscribe. Finally, if you want to see the CheeseGrater AFK base video, there should be a link on the screen now. Happy gaming, and thanks for watching.